So NFL insiders are questioning Chris Jones, a former Chiefs receiver, might be on his way back to Kansas City. And Stefon Diggs' legal troubles, well, they just took a wild turn. Let's talk about it. How are we doing, Chiefs Kingdom? Roll on in here, baby. Get in here with us tonight and have a good old chat about the Chiefs. Do us a favor, hit that like button on the way in. Let's get this out to more people. It's the dead of the off season. We need your help. Let's get as many people in here as we can. Have a good night. Shout out Prize Picks for sponsoring tonight's live stream. We'll have more on them here in just a little bit. But Mike, let's kick this thing off right with Stone Cold Chris Jones, baby. NFL insiders are doubting Chris Jones all of a sudden.
The CEO of Sack Nation is being doubted. Okay, that's what's happening. Look, Jeremy Fowler, ESPN actually put this out. A few other ones have reported on it. But there were some rankings going on where they were asked to name the top defensive tackles heading into this year. Jones ended up ranking number 4 heading into 2026. He was behind Leonard Williams in Seattle, Jeffrey Simmons, and Jalen Carter of the Eagles. He was number 2 last year. He was number 1 back in 2024. So, Steve, this is the second straight year he slid down a little bit. But I don't know if it's Chris Jones not being dominant or the Chiefs' defensive line just not getting him enough help, and he's seeing double and triple teams at a monstrous rate.
Yeah, well, I think that's exactly what I was about to bring up. I mean, if you could talk about Chris Jones all you want, he still led the entire NFL in defensive tackles, by the way, and pass rush win rate at 18.9%.
Right.
He led in pressures at 45, and his pass rush win rate, when double teamed, was 22, which was also the lead in the NFL.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So despite finishing with 7 sacks, I mean, he still was one of the best. Probably should be a little higher than what they're saying in the NFL. And here's the thing about it. He's getting a little older, right? I mean, he's 32. So I think the big question is, can he still dominate at 32 the way he was at 28 years old, right? That's probably the actual question here. But, yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that these guys are doing this to Chris Jones. Anytime a player gets on the back end of their career, I mean, look what they've been doing to Travis Kelce for 3 years. So it doesn't matter how good you play or what kind of stats you put up, they're still going to have a storyline.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the only person that's ahead of him that should have been maybe Jeffrey Simmons. I think Simmons leads him in a bunch of categories, has for a few years. Simmons is a beast. Do you remember when people were trying to get us to trade for Jeffrey Simmons and team him up with Chris Jones? That would have been insane if you could have pulled that off. But so in all the articles and everything come out, there was an anonymous NFL coordinator. I'm assuming it's a defensive coordinator. They didn't really specify that. But he quoted this about Chris Jones. He said, he's still a guy you have to game plan for, which is absolutely true. But you don't feel him as much as you used to. He's been one of the best for a long time. The line, but you don't feel him as much as you used to. I think that's an indictment on the Chiefs not coming out and helping Chris Jones as much and leaving him on an island. Look, he played 762 snaps last year. That was 73% of our defensive snaps. The 7th most on the Chiefs defense. So it wasn't like the most. They're trying to pull him back. And because you said he's getting a little older. But the thing is, if the Chiefs put him on the bench, we had no pass rush to speak of, especially with George Karlaftis playing with that broken hand last year. And none of the rookies, Omar Norman-Lott gets injured. We just, Ashton Gelati didn't perform really high. Like, they were having trouble finding places to put him. He was playing on the inside more, and he was on the outside there towards the middle of the season. So it felt like the Chiefs' defense, and look, Charles Omenihu didn't do nothing. Mike Dana didn't do nothing.
Who are those two?
Exactly. Like, nobody knows because they never got their names called last year.
Yeah.
So you just couldn't really rest Chris Jones, but they tried. Like, again, 73% of the defensive snaps, so that means 27% of the time he wasn't on the field. And really the only bad snaps I can recall off the top of my head was week 1 versus the Chargers when the Chiefs were in Brazil, and he abandoned that rush lane there at the end of the game, and Herbert was able to scramble.
He was taking a shot. He was trying to close that game out.
And then other than that, I remember versus the Jaguars late in the game, he was criticized for not
Gassed.
like running after Trevor Lawrence on that TD when Lawrence
Gassed.
made that miraculous 28-second touchdown. It seemed like it went forever and nobody could get to Trevor Lawrence. But those are really the only two big things
Right.
that I've seen from Chris Jones last year, and those both happened before Week 8, I believe. So
Preach, Mike. That's what Fred says with the 2 bomb. Appreciate you, Fred. Good to see you, brother. Well, here's the thing. Like I said, the big question is, can he dominate 32 like he did when he was 28 years old? But also, I think the bigger question is, did the Chiefs just ask a 32-year-old defensive tackle to do too much?
yeah.
That's literally the question, because the
May
answer is
still
yeah.
be doing that. May still be doing that this year. We're going to find out, because the only thing they really did was a couple rookies and Kairos Tonga.
That's true, but I mean, at least they threw a free agent at it with Tonga, and they also drafted last year with Omar Norman Lott, and they drafted this year with Peter Wood. So I think that they're plugging away at it. I think Chris Jones is primed for a monster season coming up, a massive bounce back season. And I think that that's what these guys were saying too. Even though they were rating him a little bit lower than we think he should be at, they also followed that up with, he could be set up to have a big bounce back year. And I absolutely agree with that, especially when you look at the young talent that we brought in.
Yeah, look, Tonga, he was quoted to say he's pumped to be able to come in here and play next to Chris Jones. He's excited, can't wait to be able to help him out. We've heard from Chief Scouts that they liked that about Tonga, and they specifically said, we're bringing him in to help Chris Jones. There's no way that's not going to be a thing. Again, you mentioned Peter Woods, R. Mason Thomas, and then you mentioned Omar Norman Lott. That's a big one. I think Omar Norman Lott can provide that pass rush. There were some clips come out last year from camp where he was tearing up Trey Smith. And then they just looked at him and was like, well, let's feed him cheeseburgers and see if he can play nose tackle.
Right. Wow.
How about no? How about we just let the guy be his normal weight and go get after the passer?
That was a terrible, terrible idea. Whoever came up with that.
Right. Look, here's one thing I'll say about Chris Jones, man. He is dominant, maybe the most underrated defensive tackle or defensive player of his entire draft class or this generation.
It's a dog.
People still stuck on Aaron Donald, and I get it for good reason. But Chris Jones is always a little bit overvalued and undersold. Third most sacks, just 2 shy of Tom Bahali in Chiefs history. Third most tackles for loss here. I think it's 99, and the most QB hits in Chiefs history at 220. That's beating Derek Thomas. That's beating Neil Smith. That's crazy for a defensive tackle.
Yeah. Fred says, see how it looks with R. Mason, Gelati, Woods, etc. Appreciate the 2, Fred. But that's exactly it. I think we'll see how it goes with this young help that's coming in. And you're right, Mike. A lot of people they're so quick to mention Aaron Donald is one of the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah.
And you never hardly hear
rightfully
that.
so. The dude was good.
Not doubting that whatsoever. But the fact that Chris Jones is like maybe a hair behind him.
Yeah.
And no one ever mentions Chris Jones when you start talking about the best defensive tackles of all time. Now they will, in the current situation, his name will get brought up, absolutely. But they always have someone ahead of him. Hell, they've been saying Christian Wilkins was better than him before that debacle. They were saying, what's the dude from the Giants? I can't remember his name.
Lawrence.
Yeah, Dexter Lawrence. Those kind of guys. They always have them above Chris Jones.
Didn't he just get traded to the Bengals?
Dude, Chris Jones has been outright the number 1 defensive tackle since Aaron Donald left football. Let's get that straight. And here's the thing. Here's what I want to ask everybody. Chris Jones is 32 years old. We brought in a lot of young help for Chris Jones on that defensive line. So let me ask you this question. You guys let me know in the chat. Would you rather have Chris Jones for 60% of the defensive snaps at maximum effectiveness? Or would you rather have 80 to 100% with diminishing returns like we saw last year? Do you think that they should cut some snaps from Chris Jones? Last year, man, he was on the field 99% of the time. And I think that's why he was gassed at the end of the Jags game. That's why you seen him gassed at other points in the season. And it could be why he wasn't as effective, along with he didn't have much help. But what do you guys think? You guys think that maybe at 32 and all these young guys that we've brought in too, maybe they should cut his snaps just a wee little bit, take a little pressure off of him, keep them legs fresh? I don't know. Just a thought that went through my head.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you've seen it. You almost answered your question already. You seen him last year. I just told you it was 73% of the snap share, and everybody said he disappeared. Said he had a horrible season, looked bad. How much more can you possibly cut it? I would rather cut it more, get him more priority. Now, look, if you can keep him at 75 to 85 and his production goes up because of some of these additions we've added, Tonga, are Mason Thomas, then cool, I'll take that too. But if you can't get that to pan out for you, I'd rather have 60% at 100, at 100 on the Madden level than 75% of the snaps at like 80 on the Madden level.
That's kind of my point here. Todd with the 5 bombs says, hey guys, it almost has to be better. I kind of agree. I think last year was a down year for Chris Jones statistically. I mean, if you start looking at some of the other stuff I brought up that doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet, then he had a pretty solid season. But once again, he was the focal point. That's all teams had to worry about on our defensive line was Chris Jones. If you take care of Chris Jones, it don't matter if you have to throw 3 guys at him. You're fine. Like, there ain't no Mike Dana. There ain't no Charles Omenihu trying to do anything. So, and then especially when Norman Lott went out, got another 5 bomb from Fred, says let those young guys play and wear out that O-line. I totally agree with you. And that's the thing. We have a lot of young guys on that defensive line. Chris Jones, 32 years old, highly effective. And like John was saying, like, hey, we all know Chris Jones by now. You all should just ignore those rumors and what people say about Chris Jones. And it's not necessarily rumors, it's just speculation. And yes, I understand a lot of the offseason talk from a lot of talking heads in NFL space are always going to be downing someone like a Chris Jones or a Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelce to get people to view them and talk about them and everything. And that's exactly what we're doing. But I think it's a fair question after seeing last year, because if you don't watch the Chiefs every game and you see Chris Jones 7 sacks, it's like, well, he fell off a cliff, right? Like, so I think that's a fair conversation to bring up, but I do think that they're pretty far off the mark with it. I think Chris Jones is still the best in football, in my opinion.
Absolutely. There was a question I wanted to get to here. Where did it go? Oh, here we are. Brian Parrott. He said, who's going to get the most interior sacks this year? I was thinking that, but you know what? Here's another thing I was thinking too. If R. Mason Thomas somehow gets put in more of a linebacker role, maybe more of what we wanted from Leo, because maybe he moves a little better than Leo. What if you could find a way to get him on the field as the linebacker, move Chris Jones out to edge on 3rd down, play Omar Norman Lott or Tonga and, Peter Woods on the inside, and then Karlaftis coming off the other, and now you've got 5 to 6 good pass rushers coming at you on 3rd down.
That would be pretty nasty.
That would be something crazy. Now, could you do that all the time? I don't know, because you're going to wear out a lot of your depth doing that, right?
Well, another thing is I actually think they brought in a lot of this help to keep Chris Jones in the interior and not have to put him on the outside.
Yes. Well, so, they mentioned moving Peter Woods to the defensive end.
Right, because he can do that, and he can do that well. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what Spags decides to do with the defense this year. I think he has a lot of options, and although the defensive line is still kind of a sketch thing for a lot of people, and they thought we didn't add enough, didn't get any vets and things like that, I do believe that we have a lot of really young talent that could prove to be really good this year. So, hopefully that all pans out. Fred with a 2 bomb says, how long has Chris played? 11 years now? Dude, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. But he's been around for a minute. How long has Chris Jones been around?
This year might be his 12th. Is it going to be his 12th going in?
Maybe.
I think. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, one of y'all in the chat knows.
Been around for a while. I'll say 2016. That's when he was drafted, right?
Yeah, I
Boy,
guess
it seems like an eternity ago, doesn't it? 2016?
And also, it doesn't seem that long ago.
Yeah, well, it does when you're old.
It does, but I mean, it's kind of the same kind of thing where it's like Patrick Mahomes has been playing for 10 years now.
When Chris Jones was drafted, I could get out of the bed every morning and not feel like I got hit by a bus in my sleep somehow.
No, I couldn't.
Don't have that now.
No, it's just been getting worse. Jamie with the 2 said if CJ's snaps get cut, he'll look better at 32. I agree. I don't think you should cut him drastically, but I think you should absolutely give him a little bit more rest. And I think if Peter Woods pans out, if Tonga is what we think he is, and Omar Norman Lott comes back strong, you're going to be able to do that. You can absolutely do that. And then put Chris Jones in when it counts and know that he's going to get the job done like he used to. I like it. I don't know. Mike, let's go ahead. Let's move on because we all know Chris Jones kicks ass. We all know that here. Y'all put it in the chat. Put a thumbs up if you know Chris Jones kicks ass, and we don't have to talk about it no more. Let's move on to the Stefon Diggs saga because a lot of Chiefs Kingdom, myself included, have thought it might be a good idea to go out and get Stefon Diggs to help with our wide receiver room because that 6 the sixth wide receiver on the 53-man roster is a question mark, and we don't have any vets. We don't have that Juju here no more. We don't have D-Hop here anymore. We don't have this guy, that guy. All we have is Rashee Rice, right? So I was thinking, it could be that bad, right? Like, all this legal stuff's behind him, as far as I thought. And maybe we get Diggs in here and have that vet wide receiver that can help with these young guys and actually be a security blanket for Patrick Mahomes. Boy, geez. Okay, anyway, let's talk about that a little bit, dude. So here's what I'll say. I'll try to be careful with my words because everything we're about to talk about remains allegations in an ongoing legal dispute, okay? It's all allegations. And Mike, we know allegations are BS a lot of the time, right?
Yeah.
So here's what is confirmed, and I'll read it just so I can be careful with it. But Christopher Blake Griffith. So the funny thing is, Chris Griffith, that is the fat kid off Family Guy.
Yeah, so the kid off Family Guy, huh?
Chris. Remember, Herbert tries to get him all the time.
Remember, so Diggs is essentially being the Herbert here. He's like, Chris, come over for a popsicle.
And he's also almost Blake Griffin, too. Blake Griffith.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty close. Anyway, let me go. Onward. Christopher Blake Griffith has accused free agent wide receiver Stefon Diggs of drugging and sexually assaulting him following an alleged 2023 encounter. Diggs has repeatedly denied those allegations and filed a defamation lawsuit against Griffith, claiming the accusations were fabricated and damaged his reputation. The newest development, why we're bringing this up, is because now he has turned in more than 100 pages of text messages and Instagram communications between him and Diggs. So that was turned over to Discovery. So one important clarification that I want to throw out here. Reports indicate these communications were produced at the request of Diggs and his legal team as a part of the legal discovery process. So it might not be what everybody thinks. You know what I'm saying? Because Diggs is the one that wanted it out there. Okay? So I would I would kind of like avoid going too far with this one.
Yeah, I can't get over the fact that I think you said Diggs weird.
Diggs?
It sounded like you put a C and a K in there when you said it at one time.
No.
And I thought that was I didn't know what you were doing.
You're just being a pervert. But anyway,
No, I heard it.
Like I was saying, I would be kind of leery about how this looks because you think, he turned over 100 text messages. Diggs is toast. But come to find
we don't
out,
know what that is.
Right. So we don't have enough verified public information to like characterize what those messages could prove.
No, there's no telling.
And I think another thing that you need to make a big distinction about with you guys in the chat, Diggs was also previously facing a completely separate criminal case involving allegations that he assaulted and strangled his former personal chef.
Didn't work out.
And he was found not guilty on those charges. So don't get these tied together. These are two separate things.
Right.
So, but anyway, the reason why we bring this up is because Stefon Diggs has been a good talking point for the Kansas City Chiefs and Chiefs Kingdom about maybe this is a guy we could go after. He's still not signed anywhere. We needed the help in the wide receiver room per se. Or a lot of people thought we did. Some people don't think we do. But either way, does this put a damper on it? Now, is this something you don't touch with a 10-foot pole?
Yes, this is why nobody signed him to this point.
Because they were already kind of sketch.
Everybody in the NFL already knew this was happening. This isn't new. This has been going on for a while. This is just new information. So he had tons of legal problems going in. And look, again, one of them's already been taken out. And for all we know, this one could be completely false as well. That's just the way it works.
Why is everybody attacking Diggs?
Right. So, look, look, I'm not going to get into his sexual orientation. If he wants to be that, if he wants to swing both sides of the bat here, if he wants to go to the batters, I don't care. He wants to
play offense and defense. That's up to him.
If he, look,
a little Travis Hunter action.
He just come off of the Patriots. That's what Belichick was known for, to have guys that played on both sides. So that's the thing. Like, I don't care. I'm not worried about that. Could he help a football team? Absolutely. But would that be a problem? Yes. Do the Chiefs need more problems? No. Is this why Diggs has not been signed and why he probably will not be signed until this is taken care of? Absolutely. And so that's why I believe that our statement tonight, the scenario is probably over. It's pretty much over.
Okay.
in my opinion.
But on the other side of the fence, now that this has come out and maybe you do some digging, maybe you find out that there's not much to it. A lot of people don't know that. You can get Diggs on the cheap. Do you risk it?
No, not now. You do not.
Just can't
You don't
do it,
touch him
huh?
with a 10-foot pole.
Can't do it.
You can't. You can't touch him because what if you pay him and then he gets in trouble? That's the stupidest thing I've ever
It
heard.
would have to
You
be a
gotta let
clause
everything
in the
get done.
contract, right? Like
He's not signing it.
You don't think so?
That's why he's not been signed.
Yeah, I don't think that they go anywhere near it. And, here's the thing. Even though I've been saying I think Stefon Diggs would be a good signing for the Chiefs, that's strictly football. I think that on the football field, he's a good player. I think that he's a guy that wants to win. I think that's kind of come across as him being a nuisance on some teams. But to me, when I watch it, he's just a guy that wants to win. He gets a little upset when he doesn't. But now, with all this going on, I'm with you. I don't think you could touch it.
We're already doing. Look,
have to
not
wait.
to this level.
You might as well wait anyway. You're waiting on Tyreek Hill to see if he can even run.
Right. And not to this level, but you don't want another Rashee Rice in the building. Two guys that can't seem to stop with the legal troubles. You don't want more unsuredness. The thing is, if you want to make the room better going into the year and to feel better, you've got to sign somebody that can come in and help and always be a helpful thing. You can't have a Tyreek Hill who may miss games. You can't have a Stefon Diggs who may get in trouble. Can't do it. You've got to have a constant, and there's none of that out there right now, and that's why we're going to be rolling with the same 6 people. And yes, Nico Remigio's probably going to be number 6 to everybody's chagrin.
I don't know. We had a good talk about that last night, a little vertical live I did.
Did you?
I don't know about it. We'll see. We can talk about that a little bit later. But kind of bleeding off of this story to the next one, there is a former Chiefs wide receiver that might be coming back to Kansas City, and there's people talking about it, and we're going to get into that. So do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We appreciate you being here. It helps us out. Just hit that like, baby. Like. And real quick, I just want to shout out Prize Picks for sponsoring tonight's live stream. Mike, let's get some entries in, brother.
Shout out Prize Picks. Let's do an entry for tonight. Let's do some WNBA action, shall we? I'm going to take Jackie Young. More than 11.5 points right there. I got the little awesome green demon. That's going to work out really well. I can already tell. I'm also going to take Kalia Cooper versus Indiana. 15.5 field goals attempted. I think I'm going to go less there. I think Indiana, Caitlin Clark, and Sophie Cunningham is going to put the lock down on Phoenix. And then let's go ahead and take Ryan Howard. Currently at 12 points. She needs 19.5, and they're in the third quarter. I'm going to go ahead and go less right here. We're going to go ahead and lock that in. If you want to follow us on Prize Picks and tell our entries, just follow at AllChiefedUp. Go to the description, download the app, use code HMA. Back to the show.
That's right, guys. Get Prize Picks. Get down in the description. Click that link. Get it. Use code HMA when you're signing up. Shout out Prize Picks for sponsoring tonight's live stream and sponsoring your boys for the season. Let's freaking go. Mike, this guy here named, what's his name? Let me find it real quick. Brad Crawford of CBS Sports. He recently examined possible landing spots for none other.
Hey, people are guessing in the chat. They've guessed Byron Pringle, D-Rob, and Sammy Watkins.
Well, wait.
Hey,
okay, let me go ahead.
They're all about the same age.
Let's keep it a mystery for a second then. Okay, this guy has indicated he's being patient and doesn't intend to force a signing simply for the sake of joining a team immediately. And there's also been Chiefs-specific reporting based on the suggestion that Kansas City should reunite with this guy. Mike, who are we talking about, brother?
We're talking about none other than a reunion with DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh, D-Hop, baby.
Papa Hop. Okay, Pappy Hop. I don't know if we can.
Where's what's his name? Chief Kelsey. Where's he at when you need him?
Look, here's the thing.
A little D-Hop action.
I think if you are going to D-Hop, because look, you've got the thing. Well, we lost Juju, we lost Hollywood. All we've added really is Cyrus Allen. Rashee Rice is uncertain. Xavier Worthy hasn't lived up to the hype. We need a veteran. I could get that, but here's the thing. I think that honestly, it's desperate. I feel like if you sign D-Hop, you reek of desperation. I think you signal to the league that your wide receiver room sucks. You're signaling to your fans that you haven't taken care of anything. I absolutely do. I just don't think it's needed. It's
I
honestly
don't agree
just
with
kind
that.
of wishful thinking, to be honest, because he's 34 years old, and we all know Brett Veach doesn't like old wide receivers.
Potentially, but if you're going to add a veteran late in the game, like we're talking about, people talking about Stefon Diggs, right? If you're trying to add a vet this late, DeAndre Hopkins makes a ton of sense. He already knows Andy Reid's offense. He already has experience with Patrick Mahomes. So it eliminates that learning curve that someone else coming in would have. It's gone. And he's also known to be a trusted veteran that plays great in high-pressure situations and does things the right way. DeAndre Hopkins is a dog, brother. We're talking about a Hall of Famer, okay? And I still think that there's a little bit left in that tank. The big question is, what would his role be? Because when he came in halfway through the season, when we had him last time, it seemed like they couldn't quite figure out what to do with OD Hop besides make him a decoy, which is absolutely asinine to have somebody like DeAndre Hopkins and make him a decoy. So if you did bring him in here, what is his role going to be? And what can it be at 34 years old? What do you think?
Yeah, that's why I don't want to bring him in. To me, the Chiefs don't run 10 personnel, which is one running back, 4 wide, no tight ends.
Can I interject just to say something real quick?
Before I even started?
Yes, just because I want you to consider this in your answer.
Okay.
Last time we got D-Hop, he was supposed to come in here and be like our X receiver. Okay?
Yeah.
This time, D-Hop wouldn't have to come in here and be expected to get 1,000 yards in a season. D-Hop doesn't have to be that guy. Like, he does not. So he could have a completely different role, completely different idea of bringing in D-Hop this time, much like you have the idea with Juju and guys like that. So consider that in your answer, too.
Okay. Do I think D-Hop would be a good teacher on the field? Could he be a helpful person for Chad O'Shea? Yes, absolutely. You seen what he was able to do with Xavier Worthy the first time.
Absolutely.
As an on-field contributor, I don't love it. This is why we couldn't figure out how to use him the first time. He's only gotten a year or a year and a half older and slower. His hands actually failed us in crunch time. D-Hop dropped a couple balls in big situations.
Just one.
Was a big one.
It
doesn't matter.
The point shit kicked out of us anyway.
The point is, the Chiefs do not run 10 personnel. They don't want to take the tight end off the field. If anything, we run more 12 and 13 personnel. We're wanting multiple tight ends. So that means less wide receivers on the field.
True.
We run 11 personnel 56% of the time. 10 personnel, we only ran at 0.28%. Less than 1%. So out of 100, we ran it one time, less than one time last year. So with that being said, if D-Hop is on this team and he plays, who is D-Hop pulling off the field? I don't want him taking snaps away from the guy that we just re-signed that had a good look at last year, and then we yanked everything out from under him as soon as Rashee Rice come back. He's not going to take Rashee Rice's spot. He doesn't need to pull Xavier Worthy off the field, and I don't want him eating into Cyrus Allen or Jalen Royal snaps again. Let the young guys play. It's stupid. If you bring him back, he's a coach. Otherwise, he's not needed. Our wide receiver room is not as bad as people think.
I agree with that to a certain point. But here's what I would say. Should you go sign D-Hop right now because he's available still and you want a veteran wide receiver? No, you shouldn't. But you shouldn't lose his phone number. Because if you start getting into training camp and you realize you have a glaring problem at wide receiver and some of these guys just ain't going to cut it, then you might want to give him a call. That's all I'm going to say. Like, he should definitely be on the back burner.
I'm fine with that. If Rashee Rice gets in trouble with the league, if Xavier Worthy gets injured, if blah, blah, blah.
Jalen Royals can't get on the football field because they don't have enough Tylenol.
D-Hop is probably a better wide receiver 6 option than Nico Remigio. Now, look, he's not going to give you the return that Nico's going to give you. Okay, I get it. You don't need it.
Rashard Smith.
I'm just saying your options with D-Hop on the team are pretty limited. So Brett Veach, obviously, this year, you can see it in the defensive end. You can actually see it in the wide receiver room at this point. You can see it across the board. He is trying to get younger across the board. I don't see him going out and getting I don't want to say overpriced.
He's not going to be overpriced because he's going to be cheap.
Yeah, but I just don't want to see. I don't want to say he's too old either. I mean, he's borderline at 34. But the point is, I just don't see Brett Veach going against what his principles have been this offseason. It's for the Chiefs to get younger. And Andy Reid has had a hell of an offseason this year. Nobody's really giving him credit on what he was able to theoretically fix.
Isn't that been the point of Brett Veach for the last 6 years? Is to make everybody younger, but they still brought in these guys like Diop. Like, it's the same difference as on the defensive line, like if they would have brought in Cam Jordan. It's the same difference.
Right. He wants to be younger, but he's not doing that on the defensive line as much. He's not done this in 3 or 4 years now.
Right. I don't know. It's something to think about, though. And I think you keep it on the back burner. We got a train rolling in, baby. Heath, good to see you, brother, with the 10 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go. What
Heath,
a legend.
I need you to message me your shipping address because you want a hat back in draft time, and I've got it sitting right over here, and I never got your thing.
Yeah, allchiefedup@gmail.com. Just email us your shipping address so we can get that out to you. But shout out on these 10 gifted memberships.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
You're a freaking legend. If you got one of those, make sure to thank Heath in the chat, and welcome to the crew. Actually, I'll shout you out real quick. We got Janae got one, baby. Janae, look at you. You've been waiting. You've been Brian Parrott in this thing, and you finally vultured one. Birdbanger, Robert Williams, Ron Rice, Robert Johnson, Squirrel, Original Tiger Dudes, Mino, I don't know what that says, sorry, Jacob, and Clem Tiger. Welcome to the crew. Let's go. That's awesome. Appreciate you much, brother. But yeah, so here's my thing, and it's the last thing I really have to say on the D-Hop situation. I just don't think it's something that you can easily write off and say, well, we're trying to get younger. That's cool. But do you want it to, at what expense are you trying to get younger? If you're not going to be good, do you really care if you're that much younger? Like, I really think that D-Hop could be like a cheap vet that you could grab, and look what he did with Xavier Worthy. You already brought that up. He made some really good plays. Like, granted, we didn't see D-Hop at the level that you wanted to see D-Hop at when he had him last time. Keep in mind, we brought him in halfway through the season, so he was learning the offense. He was learning Patrick Mahomes, and he didn't really know what to do with him at the time. This would be a completely different situation. You would have him during training camp. You already have that familiarity. You already know what he can do, what he can't do. You know his limitations at 34. I think it could be a whole different situation. I think it could be smart. So like I said, I wouldn't go run and sign him right now. Like you said that it would seem desperate. Probably would if you ran out and did it right now. But I wouldn't lose that guy's phone number. That's all I'm saying. I think D-Hop could help you if needed.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem. Here's another thing, too. Heath, I got your hopes up, brother. You were not the one that won the hat. I'm so sorry for telling you that. It's Hayden.
Now you got to give him a hat.
It's Hayden. Hayden Wish.
Well, now you have to give him a hat.
So, Heath, just go ahead and message me. I'll send you something. I don't know if I've got another hat, but I'm sorry for getting your hopes up, brother. Heath, Hayden, it all just kind of, I'm doing this on top of my cranium.
Heath was probably like, I didn't win anything.
If Hayden is in here, Hayden, we need your stuff because you won a hat, and we need to send that out to you, and I've had it for like 6 years, and I guess Heath's going to get it.
Heath just won something.
He's going to get that hat.
Shout out our boy Doug, been a member for 34 freaking months.
Let's go,
Doug. Great work, ACU. As always, what's your honest record prediction for this season? Thoughts? Doug, right now, as early as it is, not knowing how things are going to go, my record prediction would be 11-6. I think you can teeter on that 10 mark, but I'm a little more optimistic. I just think that last year was a weird outlier year where everything that could go wrong went wrong. I mean, it just was. That team didn't play much different than the team the year before that went 15-2. It's just the one-score games didn't go their way like it did 2 years ago. So I think that we still have a good nucleus. I think that we've improved big time, especially bringing back Bieniemy, bringing in Kenneth Walker, and then, of course, the other coaching hires and everything like that. I just think that this team's going to be better. And I also think that the guys are going to be a little more hungry after getting totally embarrassed last year. Just my opinion.
Johnny in the chat said, I'd rather have Juju over DeAndre Hopkins.
Juju's with the Giants.
Yeah, I wouldn't have fought that, but yes, he did sign with the Giants. Now, look, would the Giants cut him at some point? It's very possible there as well. They signed literally like 17 people the other day.
That's true, but would you really rather have Juju back than D-Hop?
He's younger.
He is.
Mahomes
And
does
I
trust
like,
Juju.
Well, I like the way that Juju plays too off the ball, like when he's not getting the ball, like the blocking, and he just loves getting in people's heads. I do like that. I don't know though. I think D-Hop offers you more of a pass catching target. Like even if he is 34 years old, he's still better pass catcher than Juju. He just is. But I don't know. I wouldn't be
I
mad
want to
at
bring
it.
this up from Robert. Robert said, "Hey, Mike, Steve, I haven't asked a question in a while, but do you guys think Patrick Mahomes plays in preseason? If so, how much? 1 series, 2 series in the dress rehearsal game? What do you guys think? What are your thoughts?" Steve, I don't think they're going to play him at all in the preseason.
I don't think we'll see him.
If any, maybe 1 series in that, dress rehearsal game, whichever one. And I still don't know if I see it.
I don't think you will.
It might just be like a week 1 versus Denver kind of like we're all going to be anticipating it kind of thing.
I do firmly believe that he's going to start week 1. I really do. I've never had a doubt, and I still think he's going to do it. And I also, by saying that, I also think that he's going to be ready. I don't think that this organization would risk it all by putting him out there a couple weeks too early. So I think if he gets out there, he's ready to go, and I think he's going to be ready to go in week 1. I don't think we see him at all in the preseason. I think more or less that's why Justin Fields was brought in here to mimic Patrick Mahomes in the preseason, more than likely.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to play, but I appreciate the question, Robert. That's something to think about. Like, we got camp coming up here in just a few weeks. Again, we're going to be in Kansas City, Chew with the Crew. This is number 4, maybe? Number 3 or 4. I don't remember. I'm old.
4, I think.
I think it's 4. August 1st. That's a Saturday night. It's going to be at Zarda. It's probably going to start about 7 p.m. That's the time they usually start. Everybody usually starts rolling in around 6:30, 6. Me and Steve are usually the last ones there because we're just slow and old and yeah. But anyway, that's going to be that. So if you guys want to come out to that, that's cool. Just wanted to throw that out there because I see somebody ask about it in the chat, or at least I thought I did. And then, Steve, today, if you guys follow us on X, I posted a clip today that it just blew my mind. I said, look, I'm going to go back and watch some of this season. I went back, watched the first game, the Brazil game with the Chargers.
Right, yep.
First play of the game, kickoff. Who's back there receiving the kickoff? Do you remember?
Rashard Smith?
No. And it wasn't Nico Remigio. It was Tyquan Thornton.
Tyquan Thornton? Yeah, I was going to say, he
broke it to the 50-yard line. First play of the season. Now, wait a second. Penalty.
Imagine that.
Who got it? Special teams. Come on. Use your brain.
Williams?
Josh Williams. Dude, that was a microcosm of our entire season on the first play.
Yeah.
We got a big play by Tyquan Thornton, completely erased by a boneheaded penalty. Just so happens it was Josh Williams on a special teams. Squandered all of our opportunities. I mean, it was literally just like a foreshadowing of the entire season. Like, the only thing that would have been the same is if they would have hurt Xavier Worthy on that same play.
Yeah. Man, Heath sending out 10 gifted made me need to send out 5. So I did that.
Let's go.
And welcome Johnny Ditto, Darlene, Michael, Lucas, Bellius Pirate, and Joe. Welcome to the crew. And then Heath turns around with another 5 gifted. Just like that.
Heath's wanting that hat, baby. Heath, I'm going to get you a hat
No,
for that,
he
brother.
wanted the hat. I tell you what he's want to do. He's
No.
want to downplay my 5 gifted.
Yeah, he's
He said,
making
Steve,
you look
you
bad.
do nothing. You do nothing. Here's 5 more. So shout out Gina, JMT or JM Thompson, Luis Garcia, Brad Ass, and Eric.
Hey, I really hope
Eric
that's how that's
Yu.
pronounced.
I don't know if it is, but that's just how I decided.
Appreciate you, Heath. No, for real. Send me your message. Send me your message with your shipping address. I won't stalk you, I promise, but I'm going to send you something in the mail.
Yeah, let's go.
I appreciate that, brother, because the off season is slow. If you guys can't tell, it's slow. There's not a lot to talk about. We try to muster up as much Chiefs talk as we can get, and a lot of people don't like it. You're like, well, why do you keep throwing out stories from national media? Well, it's something to talk about. I mean,
what
we're in
else
the
you wanna talk
dead. What else am I going to talk about?
Do you want to talk about the Royals stinking? I am happy that Jack Caglianone's going to be in the home run derby. So Monday night, let's lock in, baby.
I don't want to talk about it.
Hey, Johnny, appreciate you, brother. Yeah, you don't want to talk about what? How bad they've been?
Didn't they win the other day? I thought they scored like 18
They've
runs
been
or something.
playing really well. The offense is coming around. So
Yeah, we can't talk about the Royals though. That'll just depress everyone.
yeah, but anyway, it's just what you do. If you're a YouTube channel or a podcast or anything that covers the Chiefs, if there's no Chiefs breaking news, you're going to talk about what everybody else is talking about.
Yeah. And
So-
we've been trying to do shorts too that are more like evergreen kind of stuff, like cool little facts that maybe people don't know. And of course, somebody was like, "Yeah, we already know this." And it's like, "Yeah, I'm sure you do. You're a good fan, but still got to put it out there." There's going to be somebody out there that don't know it.
I'm going to say I've learned a couple things just by doing those shorts. I will say that.
Me too, actually. I did not know the monsoon game history.
Why are my elbows
when I put that together?
weird? What? What's wrong with my elbow?
He does have a
Because it's got
weird elbow.
swirly- Is there something wrong with my elbows? How'd you
They're
even see
red
'em?
from being on your
Yeah,
chair.
yeah, maybe that's what she's talking about. She somehow saw that.
I don't want to talk
below.
about Steve's elbows. It's too early in the night to talk about
Julia,
elbows.
Gulia, what are you doing to me? Guys, we'll let you drive this thing for the rest of the time out. If you guys have any questions about anything, make sure to put them in the chat, and we'll get to those. And while we're doing that, I want you guys to write in the chat just a yes or no if you would take DeAndre Hopkins back as a wide receiver 6 or 7 if they want to, hang on to Jeff Caldwell. And just use them on the cheap. I don't know. Y'all put a yes or no in the chat. Let me know. I just kind of want to see what everybody's thinking about that. Julia also asked, when does Tobe get the hot seat? Do you think Tobe's ever going to get the hot seat? Because I feel like if he's not on it by now, Andy's that's his buddy. He ain't going
No, him and Andy are just like this. That ain't
they're
happening.
best friends or something.
I think Tobe is one of those kind of like lifers if he wants to be. As long as Andy's here, Tobe's going to be, unless
think
Tobe wants to leave.
Like, Tobe screwed up pretty bad, and I think he would have to screw up really bad. What happened? Storm?
Did you hear that?
It's storming here.
Yeah, thunder. I felt like Bigfoot was attacking me or something.
I thought you were singing AC/DC.
Dun, dun.
That's what I thought. Yeah, it's getting pretty wild outside. Kentucky's the new tornado alley, guys. It's just been wild this year.
Dude, I feel like it's just...
And flooding.
What is this? This is July the 9th. It feels like it's April the 9th. Like we're having spring weather into like July. Like it's not feel like summer yet so far.
They talking about 6 inches of rain and stuff again.
Yeah.
Just
If I
flood
get
Kentucky.
flooded again, I swear oh.
Kentucky done pissed off the Lord. It's like the days of Noah around here. He's about to flood a whole state out.
I know. Dude, Stelly's scared. I hear her scratching at the door back here.
Uh-oh. It's okay,
Stelly's
Stella.
trying to get the pop.
It's okay, Stella Heath with the 10 bomb says, I won the Dante Hall jersey a few months ago. I don't think I want a hat. Yes, on Hopkins. Go Chiefs. Let's go, Heath. Yeah, I'm glad you got that Dante Hall jersey. The X Factor, baby. That was a cool one.
That's why I had Heath on the brain, because I did know he won
But
something.
look, not only did he win a signed Dante Hall jersey, but now he's going to get something else just because you
Hey,
had a meltdown.
I'm sorry. Look, I've got this sticker here I'll send you out, Heath. Just Travis Kelce taking a bow. I'll just send that to you right there.
I kind of want that one. Yeah, man. What do you guys want to talk about? Last night I did a vertical live stream, and just for you guys that weren't there or didn't see it, we do those, and then we'll make them members only. That way the members can watch it on a replay. Otherwise, we just kind of take them down. But that's just a format where we can pop online and literally just talk about whatever. Like, anything that you guys want to talk about, we can talk about it. And there's no like stories to talk about. Like most of these live streams, like today, we had 3 things to talk about, and those would just kind of pop on. If y'all like that format, we're gonna be doing that quite a bit. Stella's got to calm down.
We're
We're gonna be doing that coming up here, and if y'all like it, just keep an eye out for that. But yeah. Anyway, what do we got going on? Anything? Last night on that vertical stream, though, a lot of people were just really talking about that 6th wide receiver spot, and if Remigio was even needed. And we talked about that a little bit. Talked a little bit about the right tackle situation, the defensive line. But I think for the most part, everyone's on the same page, you know? Like, I think pretty much everybody's got the same concerns with this team going forward. Like, a lot of times you're split. Like, it's this, it's that. But, like, I think at this point, the main thing everybody's concerned about is the wide receiver room, the right tackle position, and pass rush. Like, I didn't even see that many people worried about the secondary whatsoever. So, linebackers comes up a lot.
I think linebackers is valid.
And what I wanted to bring up There was a lot of people in chat last night were like, hey, are we going to play in a nickel? Are we only going to play 2 linebackers most of the time? Is that why they're not getting another linebacker? What do you think about that?
Gonna bring that nickel back. Gonna Chad Kroger a little bit. You know, I don't know.
Photograph.
It's possible we play more corners. I mean, it's gonna be tough. A lot of people have already penciled Jaden Kennedy in as like the starter, but Kader Kohu is really good. When he's healthy, he's good.
Yeah, he is.
So he may start over, or you may want him on the field at the same time. Again, you're going to have Noah Williams, you're going to have Delane, you're going to now have L'Jarius Sneed. You know, if Sneed comes back healthy, and by all signs, he's posting up on Instagram all the time that he's ready to go. He don't have that legal trouble going on. He's very focused. We could be decent with the corners. I don't think the corners are a big deal. Wide receiver is one, though, and you said it. I do believe linebacker is a concern for me. It's all really going to hinge on whether or not Cooper McDonald's going to be good in year 2. Like, is he going to take that step forward? Because Coop looked pretty good last year, but can he come, even more this year? And can Bossa step up? But the wide receiver, everybody, I posted this on X today. Like, who's the number 6? We've got 5 primarily locked receivers right now. Rice, Worthy, Thornton.
Well, here's the thing.
Cyrus Allen and Jalen Royals ain't going nowhere. So who's 6? And I would say Nico Remijo is probably at the 80% going to make it mark, because Dave Tobe is going to get a say.
Something else we talked about last night, and I'll bring it up to get your perspective.
Yeah.
But do you think this could be a year like a few years back when you had Justin Ross? And it's like, if we don't put him on the 53-man roster, somebody's going to take him. Mm-hmm. Do you think they pull that same thing with Jeff Caldwell and end up with 7 receivers on the roster?
Right now, no. I do know people's horned up about Caldwell. He is the new guy. But look, here's my thing. He's done okay to this point in rookie OTA and then in the mandatory OTAs. He's not really flashed as much as Justin Ross ever did to this point.
Right.
I'll say this.
To be fair, he ain't really done much. We haven't done anything. OTA.
Right. I get it. But like, this was past camp. And Matt McMullen, Matt Derrick, nobody ever come out and said like he just had these amazing catches. And you were hearing that from Justin Ross. That's why you was even hearing that from Jake Brenningstool at this time last year, because he didn't even do anything in camp. We were hearing it this time. So that's my thing. Like, Brenningstool was going and getting all that last year, and then he had an injury, but it's like, if he would have played, would he been that much? Would he have made the roster? Who knows? So I don't know if I could pencil Jeff Caldwell in as being like a surefire number 6. And unless he does something at camp, which he's got plenty of opportunities to do it, but unless he does something in camp, I don't know if I'm scared enough to not try to put him on the practice squad.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because if someone picks him up, he's got to go to their roster.
That's true. But, I mean, the guy's physical traits are almost enough to take a chance on.
It is insane. So I hope he does come out and play really well.
Yeah. Robert, we talked about this a little bit ago, but I'm going with like 11 wins. I think that's where I'm at.
I think I'm at 11 too, man.
Doug says, it's weird to say, but the running back room is one of the deepest rooms we have. So strange to say for KC. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with what we've done with the running back room. And is there a part of me that is a little bit sad that Kareem Hunt can't stick around just to get one more shot at the Super Bowl? Yeah. But, I mean, that's fine. I think Kenneth Walker signing is, you can't stress enough how massive that is for the Chiefs after having no running game, to go out and be like, well, we're going to take that guy that just went on the national stage and kicked everybody's ass in the Super Bowl. That's our guy. Okay, so that's a statement. That was a statement from Brett Veach. Like, we are going to focus on this running game. And then, of course, Emmett Johnson, what a steal in the draft. Total steal. And then, Mike, you're a big DeMarcado guy. You think he could make the roster and contribute. Brashard Smith, we don't really know what we got going on with that guy yet. We didn't get to see much of anything last year. But he did get his feet wet more than other rookies did, like Jalen Royals. So we'll see how they decide to use him. But, yeah. I think that running back room's pretty solid. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
Yeah, I think, honestly, if you'd looked at this team last year, if you looked at our running back room last year, if you would have drafted Emmett Johnson last year, he'd have probably been starting. And now he might be running back 3.
Potentially. But I do think he's going to get used a lot. I think he will. He's just really good.
Well, here's my caveat. We've been doing this now for 5 years, and we've been Chiefs fans for literally a lifetime. And I can definitely remember the Andy Reid years. I mean, that was literally, I was at a good age. I was paying attention. I was football obsessed. Like, it wasn't like when you're a teenager, you're kind of in and out or whatever. Andy Reid does bury rookies quickly. And so for me, it's always hard to say that this rookie's going to make an impact. This rookie's going to play, because they can very well look great all the way through camp. And we've seen people perform in camp and Andy Reid not even let them make the team.
That's true.
Rookies.
Yeah, we've seen it.
We've seen it. The kid from Western, the corner that we loved.
I don't know why I can't remember his name right now, but yeah, he was really good. Like we thought for sure.
I can't definitively right now sit here and say, yeah, they're going to use Cyrus Allen, and yes, they're going to use Emmett Johnson. They might, and they may not.
Yep. Chief 63 Casey Moe says, think Armis and Thomas will play some linebacker. A lot of people are on that train. I do think they probably will use him in some packages, more than likely, just to get him on the field more, if anything, if nothing else, because he's not going to be a guy that's going to be setting an edge for you. Like, if he wants to be a 3-down edge rusher, like, he's going to have to learn how to do that, and I don't know if he's big enough to be effective at that.
I do think he plays linebacker, Chiefs.
Yeah, I think he will. I think we'll see that.
I called him Chiefs, like his first name was Chiefs and his last name was KC Moe.
Yeah. Chief KT says if Caldwell has chemistry with Mahomes, he'll make the team. It's potentially. Absolutely. I mean, if you got a guy...
I'm not writing nobody off from making it.
No. But if you got a guy with those physical traits and him and Mahomes are, like, hitting it off, that's going to make you, like, put a little asterisk beside his name and try to squeeze him on the roster. Todd with the 5 bomb says, I like the team we have. Excited to see it play out. 100%. This has felt like the longest offseason. And I think it's because of how bad last year was. We thought last offseason was the longest because we got our asses kicked in the Super Bowl. And we're like, man, the longest offseason. No, when your offseason starts at Thanksgiving, that's when you have the longest offseason of all time. And especially with that horrible finish to the season. So I'm excited to get back at it too, man. I appreciate the 5. Nikki, it's okay. Better late than never. Same with you, Shane. Good to see y'all. Let's see what else we got going on. G Willikers gifted a membership. Let's go, baby. Appreciate you. If you got that, make sure to thank him in the chat. Hey, we're getting the members in tonight. Everybody's getting...
I like it.
Getting memberships. I like it. I like it a lot. Fred with the 5 says we have the best running back talent. I mean, you could argue right now with projection on Emmett Johnson, what DeMarcado has shown in flashes. You have Kenneth Walker. You could probably argue that we have you could easily say a top 10 running back room in the league, I would think. Don't you?
I wonder, like, who would be considered. Let me do this research while you take some of these gifted memberships, because we got some more rolling in.
We got some more rolling in, baby. Because Pops is awake. Pops is up. 5 gifted memberships. Let's go, old man. Y'all thank our dad in the chat for getting a membership.
Pops
Let's freaking go. Pops just gifted out Tommy Sparks, Surplus Candy, Nate's, something, Will, Jack, and Jamie Rowe. So welcome to the crew, guys. Appreciate you, old man. Ray says, Mike and Steve, do you guys really believe that Tyreek will have the explosive speed after this knee injury? Will Tyreek Hill be what he was in his prime? No. And I don't think it's just the knee injury. It's also father time, right? Like, he's not going to be out there running 23.74 miles an hour or whatever it was, right? Like, we're probably not going to see that ever again. But is Tyreek going to be able to play football? I think that's the big question. People are still kind of skeptical on that. But if he is, I think Tyreek's going to be valuable for somebody. Even coming off that knee injury, even being a little bit, like a tad bit slower, or even like the mental problems that you would have with something like that, be a little bit skeptical on cuts and things of that nature. I still think Tyreek's going to be a weapon for somebody. Tyreek's just too good. Like, he's been so good his whole career. And I think, like, it's kind of like that D-Hop thing I was talking about earlier. At this point, with Tyreek coming off the injury and he's 32 years old, I think that he don't have to carry the weight that he used to. You don't have to bring Tyreek Hill in here to be your number 1 guy. Like, you don't have to expect him to get 1,000 yards receiving, but he could absolutely do some damage for you. So I think that Tyreek could still have a career in the league. It just really depends. I'm also not a doctor, so it really just depends on how he bounces back. Shane with a 2 says possibly the best 1-2 punch with the running back rooms. Are you saying 1-2 punch with Kenneth Walker and DeMarcado, or Kenneth Walker and Emmett Johnson? Either way, that's fine with me. I just think that Emmett Johnson, obviously we haven't got to see him play in the NFL yet, but what a dog in college. So I dig it, Shane. Do you find anything?
Honestly, the Chiefs is right up there, man. It keeps coming back to Falcons. They signed Brian Robinson Jr. He replaced Tyler Algier, so he's going to team up with Bijan. That's their 1-2.
Algier went to Seattle, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure there. But Jahmyr Gibbs with Pacheco now with the Lions because David Montgomery's gone. I don't know if that beats us. I will say that if Mike Washington Jr. turns out to be a beast, him and Ashton Genty is going to be a hell of a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Love with James Conner and Trey Benson.
Don't know about Jeremiah Love yet, but could be.
Yeah.
Could be something.
Other than that, I mean, Jadarian Price, Zach Charbonnet with Seattle. I don't know about it.
What you're saying is we up there, baby.
The Chiefs are up there. Maybe Etienne and Alvin Kamara and Devin Neal in New Orleans.
Heath.
That might be okay.
We up there like Heath, baby, with the 10 gifted memberships. Let's go. Heath is killing it tonight, y'all. Y'all better thank him in the chat because he's growing the crew. If y'all got
Appreciate
one of those memberships, make sure to thank Heath. He's a legend today, going down in the history books in the all chiefed up chat, baby. Let's go. Gold jacket, green jacket, whatever.
Alchemy, welcome to the crew. Nathan, Connor, Ryan, Wesley, Mark Russell, Brian Brown, Jim War, Ancient Scion Shallot. That's a cool name, and it sounds like a ninja. Amy Jones, welcome in.
Let's go. Welcome to the crew. Drew, Mike actually made a short about this, a really good one. So y'all can go watch that. They put that out, yesterday?
Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah, you can go watch that. But, yeah, Chiefs totally had a trade set up to go back in the draft for the Cowboys, which some think could have been, the way to go. But I think I'm gonna lay all that to rest. We talked about the draft a little bit more yesterday on that vertical live stream, and I think I'm ready to not talk about the what ifs and just say, you know what? I'm happy with what we got, and I think we had a good draft. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready to see these guys play. Pop says Reek won't be fast, but he's still going to be quick, potentially. So I don't know, man. I think Tyreek will still, if he can play, if he medically is cleared, I do think Tyreek Hill will be a good piece for somebody, and it could be the Chiefs, man. It could be.
It could. I'm not going to rule that out. Maybe that's who we're sitting around waiting for.
Sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire, So, I mean,
do you think the Chiefs
points that way?
Do you think the Chiefs go in? So here's my thing. A lot of Chiefs fans are more concerned about the wide receiver room than the Chiefs even act like they've been. Obviously, your big offseason addition was just signing back Tyquan Thornton, and you didn't try to get nobody else back, and you drafted Cyrus Allen late in the draft. It wasn't even early. You apparently never even looked at Jordan Tyson. You didn't care about Carnell Tate. That wasn't your concern. Your concern was a corner. So they obviously are higher on Jalen Royals and guys like that than our own fans are. Do you think they're just going into camp being like, look, this is what we got, and if there's if there's something here that sucks and we can't get over it, we'll address it then. But for now, we're just good to go. And I think that's where they're at, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair. I went ahead and gifted out 5 more memberships just because he's doing it, so I did it too. So shout out to you guys that are part of the crew now. I would shout you out. Oh, Scott Vanzel is now a part of All Chiefed Up, the ACU crew. I bet he loves that. Wear that badge with proud honor, okay? You go do that. But, yeah, shout out you guys. Welcome to the crew. I love growing the ACU crew, Mike, and we have probably 30 plus new members tonight. or somewhere in that ballpark. So that's awesome, brother. Let's go. But yeah, pretty good night. I thought we had a pretty good Chiefs talk. It's really tough to talk about a lot in the offseason, but some things went down. Ancient says signed Justin Jefferson. There are a lot of people talking about the Chiefs trading for Justin Jefferson. They're still on that Justin Jefferson train. I don't think we'll ever see that come to fruition, but who knows?
That would be wild.
Yep.
Barbara says it's a great crew. Good to see you, Barbara. Barbara done something really nice. I don't want to out everything right now because it'll happen in time. I've sent out everything today. But Barbara, I'm going to go ahead and send you out something too. Message me and just just tell me what you would kind of prefer. Like, do you, a clothing item?
She wants a gift card to
gift card to
Factory.
Sephora. I mean, I'll hit it up for you. So yeah, just let me know. But I appreciate everybody that does good things for other people, and Barbara did that, so that's amazing.
Yep. No idea what you're talking about. But
Steve has no idea. It's just
let's
all
go,
me
Barbara.
right here.
Let's go. Thanks for being a good human. Guys, appreciate you all being here. Do us a favor. Hit the like button on the way out. If you haven't done that yet, just go click it. It takes 2 seconds. It'll help us out. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you should totally go do that. Hang out with us more often. Trying to get to 100,000 subscribers, so help us out. Share out the channel with your friends, family, anybody you know that loves Chiefs football or just NFL in general. And let's see if we can get that number up. Shout out Prize Picks for sponsoring tonight's live stream. You guys can get in the description. Click that link, sign up using code HMA. And we'll see you guys next time. Appreciate you being here. Go Chiefs.
Get wild.